now for the Western semifinal, Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.
Thank you, Rod. Temperature -4 in the Manitoba capital for the first playoff game ever at Investors Group Field. First playoff meeting since 2008 between the 12-6 Eskimos and the 12-6 Bombers for the right to play Calgary in the 2017 West Final.
Matt Nichols finished the regular season with a career high in passing yards despite missing the last 2 games with that calf injury. Starting this playoff game was really never in doubt for him. But the question is, can he finish? Can he get through the game? His former teammate Mike Riley threw for more yards this year than any other Edmonton Eskimo in club history, including Ricky Ray and Warren Moon. Riley is the West Division MOP finalist.
And the Eskimos hit the playoff road on the best roll. Jason Moss's squad with 5 consecutive victories. But they lost both meetings against the Bombers, 33-26 and 28-19. On the other sidelines, Mike O'Shea's Bombers claimed their first home playoff berth since 2011. That was a character win last week in Calgary. The Bombers with a pair of defensive touchdowns in that game, and they led the CFL in points off turnovers with 166 on the year. Pretty good day for football, -4 as mentioned. It feels like -8, which is mild.
Very little, if no wind. It shouldn't be a factor. The weather will not be a factor in this one this afternoon.
Bombers will get their hands on the football first. Are we going to get the start they had in the Eastern Semi? The track beat off the hop, and it sees Saskatchewan headed to Toronto for the Eastern Final next week. Calgary awaits the winner of this game as you see Chris Gibbons back with Timothy Flanders.
Where the Bombers worked hard to get this home field game, and you can start to hear the crowd just settling into their seats now. But that home field edge is what the Bombers worked for, getting second place in the regular season.
Loud and proud here and expecting a crowd in the neighborhood of 30,000 for the game. Hugh O'Neill's got it on the tee. Both teams revved up and ready, and away we go with the kickoff from O'Neill. And this one is going to be played by Flanders at the 20. And Timothy Flanders out across the 35-yard line for the first possession for Matt Nichols, who did not come out with the rest of the team. Came out a little bit earlier, and again, the focus on that left calf.
Told us yesterday that stepping into throws shouldn't be a problem. It's whether or not he can escape pressure. That puts more pressure in this game on that offensive line up front and the receivers to get open quickly, and as Matt Dunnigan mentioned, get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible.
This last week after 30 consecutive starts, 21-9 as the Bomber quarterback comes out throwing and has a completion. Johnny Adams with a quick close, catch made by Matt Coates for 5.
Now Matt Nichols does have the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League in Andrew Harris, who in one game against Edmonton in the regular season had 100 yards receiving and over 100 yards rushing, the 100-100 game. Now he doesn't have Travis Bond at left guard up front. It is Patrick Neufeld starting in that spot. Bond was close but not available due to injury for this one.
2nd and 5, short drop, one left field Flanders, and he got tagged there by Arjun Colquhoun. It'll be short of the first down, and the punt team will come on for Winnipeg.
Mike O'Shea's taking a look at this, but
3rd and a full 2 yards. It's not going to gamble yet.
No, it's too far. But you see the game plan for Winnipeg with that calf injury to Matt Nichols. 2 quick throws.
Jamil Smith back. Justin Medlock to punt for the Bombers. A 43.7-yard average during the regular season. Smith had a good finale in Saskatchewan. The team here, Kyle Knox down in a hurry after a 42-yard punt by Medlock and no return. So here comes the West nominee for most outstanding player after setting that Eskimo record with 5,830 yards. And yeah, he chipped in with 12 rushing touchdowns as well.
Yeah, led the Edmonton Eskimos in rushing. Doesn't happen very often, although they went through a lot of running backs due to injury this season.
They've got a running back that's healthy that they like right now in C.J. Gable. at the Edmonton 27 in the DNet Investors Group field. A lot of time underneath. McCartney drops the football. The 11-year vet can't hang on. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You mentioned C.J. Gable. He will start in the backfield. 4 starts as an Edmonton Eskimo. The Esks won all 4 games that he started in. We have the leading rusher in the league, the leading passer, and the leading receiver in Brandon Zylstra. And pressure's on those tackles, including Colin Kelly, to stop Oklaugo and Jackson Jeffco.
One of the issues against Winnipeg for Edmonton, 3 first-half points combined in the 2 games. Riley, open man, there's Zylstra, who's been money all season long. 38 second-down conversion catches and leading receiver in the CFL.
C.J. Gable has got the great reputation for being able to pass protect, and he does it again for Mike Riley. Give him an extra second to step up in the pocket here. Takes the outside blitz from Taylor Loeffler. 16-yard gain and a new set of downs.
Eskimos #1 in converting second downs, and they converted over 40% on second and long. Here's Gable. And C.J. Gable gets dragged down by Jackson Jeffco as we set the Blue Bomber defense.
6 sacks on the season for Tristan Oklaugo in a big game against Calgary in the last game of the regular season. That's the matchup we'll watch this afternoon. He against Figueroa and Kelly at tackles. The unsung hero of this defense is Sam Hurl. Doesn't get a lot of tackles, but takes a lot of the blocks away. And there in the secondary is Chris Randall. 2 games against Edmonton this year, 2 interceptions,
including a pick 6 that clinched one of the Bomber victories over Edmonton. 2nd and 7, another 2nd and long. Riley stands in. He got Darrell Walker and has another first down as Walker makes the catch in front of Brian Walker on the Bomber corner.
They'll move these receivers all over the place, and this time it's Darrell Walker's turn. They'll target. Jason Moss told us yesterday that they'll try and spread out the targets where every one of these receivers are the primary in the play call, just to get them all involved early in the game.
No shortage of weapons in this Edmonton arsenal. First down at midfield and back into the hands of Gable, straight ahead, and C.J. Gable will fall forward close to 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6, and Taylor Loeffler up from the safety spot. He's been a busy tackler all season long from that area.
C.J. Gable played every game as an Edmonton Eskimo. He would have had over 1,600 yards rushing. That was his yards per game at 116.5, including catching the ball occasionally out of the backfield, but averaging over 90 yards rushing per game in the 4 starts for Edmonton.
They're converted on 2nd and 10, 2nd and 7, now 2nd and 6. Short drop, he's got Zylstra, and he slides under the tackle and should have the first down at the Bomber 45.
Just slipped out of the arms of Sam Hurl, but this drive has already flipped the field position in the Edmonton Eskimos' favor. After the Blue Bomber punt, Edmonton with first downs back to back here. They're in plus territory.
Zylstra with 100 catches on the year, the 7th Eskimo receiver in history to reach the century mark in receptions. Fake to Gable, and it's swung out to Vidal Hazelton, and Hazelton's got a first down. So Zylstra, Walker, and Hazelton all with catches already for Edmonton.
Well, this was well blocked at the point of attack. Darius Bowman and Corey Watson. Watch as this ball's coming. There's Bowman stepping up on his man right here. And if you take a look at there, you got Corey Watson with a block, and then it gives Hazelton a chance to shoot the gap.
First down, Riley on a roll. Mike Riley takes a look. The flag comes down, and Zylstra with another catch as he hangs on in front of Brandon Alexander.
Well, he threw a strike there on the run. Just put it right on Brandon Zylstra. That flag was in the Bomber secondary.
Illegal contact on receiver. Winnipeg number 21. Penalties declined. The gain is greater. First down.
It was against Alexander, a hero last week with the pick 6, his first interception in Calgary.
Well, Alexander's arguing the call, but they'll take the play anyway, and not the penalty. The play and that gain and catch by Zylstra greater than the penalty yards.
Boy, that replay shows you how strong the hands are of Brandon Zylstra. 15-yard pickup and a good-looking opening Edmonton Eskimo drive. Play action fake to Gable. Pressure coming. Open is Bowman. Touchdown. Darius Bowman and all four of Mike Riley's prime targets with catches on an opening touchdown drive.
And very little pressure on Mike Riley in that opening drive. One throw that he had to step up in the pocket briefly, but other than that, lots of time here. Stunt from Winnipeg, doesn't get home, and it gives Mike Riley a chance to let Bowman get right to the back of the end zone.
6 for 7, 76 yards on an opening touchdown drive for Riley.
They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready.
So Darius Bowman with his own analysis of that first drive. Sean White the extra point. And out of the gate, that was impressive. Quick start for the Eskimos. First touchdown in the first half against Winnipeg in 3 games this season. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by Shaw. Proud to present the 105th Grey Cup. Be a new champion in 2017 after the Rough Riders win earlier today. And Darius Bowman 3 touchdowns in the last
with the cameras, man.
3 regular season
I want to
games.
give a special thanks to Liam and his mom, man. Appreciate the support of Darius Autism. Hey, One Empire, baby, we here. Playoffs! We got so much.
9 plays, 83 yards, and Darius in playoff form. Here's Chris Givens on the return for the Bombers. And out to around the 39-yard line. A touchdown for Mike Riley and the Eskimos on that 9-play, 83-yard touchdown drive capped by Darius Bowman.
Let's go back to the touchdown of Darius Bowman. This is called change motion, where the wide receiver, Darrell Walker, goes inside. Bowman goes outside and gets inside leverage on Chris Randall. But at the top of this route, watch how the Bombers are so concerned with Brandon Zylstra. 1, 2, 3 defenders looking at Zylstra over the middle that they leave the one-on-one to Bowman at the back of the end zone. Throw and catch, first touchdown of this game.
And the first time this year that the Bombers have trailed the Eskimos, the #1 rushing team in the league, against the #8 run defense. And there's Andrew Harris, the West top Canadian, with a good gain on first down.
They're going to have to lean on Andrew Harris a ton in this game, and they have against the Edmonton Eskimos. They're going tempo offense, trying to keep them off balance here.
Got 9, 2nd and 1. He's got a first down and more as he crashes across midfield. Taken down by the safety, Neil King.
A good matchup inside. Patrick Neufeld and Suk Chung against Amondo Sewell and Euclid Cummings. Sewell with 7 sacks on the season, 21 quarterback pressures. They haven't lost when Corey Jones, the Edmonton Eskimos, haven't lost when he starts at middle linebacker. And Jason Moss said Aaron Grimes, maybe the best football player he's ever been around.
Offside as Boateng at left end jumped before the snap of the football. Maybe a rookie jitter or two for the top rookie on the Edmonton Eskimos this season.
Well, Mike Benavides' crew has really improved over the last 4 or 5 games, stopping the run, and that will be the challenge against this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team and the leading rusher in the CFL, Andrew Harris.
Edmonton, number 93, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
In 2 meetings against Edmonton, the Bombers put up 870 yards. 53.7% of it went through Andrew Harris and Timothy Flanders. And carry for Flanders this time, and he'll pound for a first down. So Harris and Flanders starting to move the Bomber offense.
I'll just completely change the strategy. First series for Matt Nichols was quick passing game. They were held short and a 2 and out. They go right back to first Andrew Harris, then give him a breather and go to Timothy Flanders, and he gets a good gain up the middle and a new set of downs.
Backs combined for 25 carries, 261 yards in the 2 games for Winnipeg against Edmonton. First and 10 with Lefevre at quarterback, and they're going to continue the run with Lefevre. And that might be the key to success for the blue and gold today.
Well, that's one thing you know that Dan Lefevre can do very well and effectively, is to run the football, run that option style offense, whether it's Timothy Flanders behind him or Andrew Harris. So Paul Apostolis goes with quick game in the first drive. Now he's coming back to that ground game and trying to grind one down into the end zone to get the answer to that first Edmonton score.
And Lefevre at the controls last week in Calgary. Fakes to Harris, keeps himself, and the big quarterback, 6'3", 236. Is across the 30-yard line and down to the 29 with another first down.
Winnipeg goes with Flanders and Harris in this case, and watch how the play fake to Harris draws the defenders for the Edmonton Eskimos. Harris doesn't have the ball, but he's getting hit in the backfield. Gives Lefevre a chance to step up and get a good gain.
Got an injured Eskimo, looks like Daquan Bowers, one of their big D tackles. Slow to get up, but now makes his way to the sidelines.
Boy, 7 sacks on the season for Bowers, 7 for Sewell, 8 for Cummings. That's just the interior of the defensive line, but they're going to have to be run stoppers here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's the beef of the Eskimo defense. Sewell feeling better at this point than at any time this year. Nichols back in, first down. Fakes to Harris, throws to Dressler. And the most experienced playoff player in this Bomber offense has another Winnipeg first down.
10 playoff games for Dressler. Go to play action here with Andrew Harris. That pulls in the linebacking core and Weston Dressler in behind.
Going out of the tackle, the 41st playoff catch for Weston Dressler. First down into the red zone for the first time for Winnipeg. Nichols over the middle, high. Clavers brings it down, and Aaron Grimes will toss him back. Forward progress around the 11.
Just watching Matt Nichols with that calf injury. It's not his plant leg, the right leg. It's the forward leg that he steps into throws with. And I haven't seen any heat off the ball. In other words, he's throwing with the same heat over the middle on this throw, but he hasn't moved around at all. He hasn't gone on the roll, half roll, been right there in the pocket.
Well, 2nd and 4, 6 receivers out, pressure coming, got it away, some bumping, and it's incomplete. Johnny Adams in the hip pocket of the intended target, Dressler.
Now that's something that the Edmonton Eskimos defensive backfield can start to think about. If Matt Nichols has got to get the ball out quickly because he doesn't want to try and run to escape pressure, those guys can jump some of those quick throws. Aaron Grimes has great catch-up speed if he has to break on a football.
The Medlock in after 56 field goals during the regular season. And this from 20 yards out. Matt Coates, the holder, and the left footer puts it through. Bombers on the board. 20-yard field goal for Winnipeg after that opening touchdown drive. Engineered by Mike Riley. 6 for 7, 77 yards already. CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Good start to this one in Winnipeg. Eskimos with a 7-3 lead. They opt to take the football at their 35 after the Medlock field goal. Take the game. Riley going through the reads. Here comes pressure over the middle and a snag by Darrell Walker at the 37-yard line. Short gain for Walker. Although forward progress closer to the 40, so let's call it 5.
Edmonton right now bring in the tight end and Dupuis to come out, extend the edge a little bit on Tristan Oplaugo.
They have to deal with the noise that, like Riley said yesterday, he likes this environment, likes this stadium. 2nd and 5, early movement. Corey Johnson moved prior to the snap. Was he drawn offside?
Boy, on that play, Darius Bowman was on a get-up-and-go route. He hit the line full speed and was about 35 yards downfield when they blew that play dead.
Got the usual pointing either way. And Mike O'Shea is arguing the Bomber case, but it's going to go against Winnipeg.
Yeah, O'Shea is arguing that it was a snap down, meaning Justin Sorensen snapped his head
Offside.
before snapping the ball,
Winnipeg,
drawing offside.
number 67, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Officials disagreed, called it on Corey Johnson.
And just to make it clear, he went right over to the Bombers bench to make the call. So second and inches. And Riley, who handles short yardage, handles that effectively for a first down.
I jumped over you. What?
Eskimos, the highest scoring offensive team in the league. Bombers had more points on the season, but because of 8 defensive touchdowns. But the Eskimos #1 in offensive points, #1 in yards, #1 in passing yards. Here's Gable ducking to the right side and stepping up with Brandon Alexander to make first contact from his defensive halfback position.
Yeah, it really was a great play to step up and not only make first contact on Gable, but also to turn him inside to where the Bomber pursuit could get to him. Because if he bounces on Brandon Alexander, number 21 in your screen right there, he's got a lot of room to run.
Bombers have a passing down package in. Kyle Knox and Ian Wild have checked in on the defense. The Eskimos 5 for 5 in second down conversions. 3-man rush. And now Riley on the move. Anybody open? He looks for Bowman and overthrows him. And Riley took a hit at the end of the play from Trent Corney, the Brockville, Ontario native.
Don't see much of that from the Bombers on defense. Richie Hall calling 3-man pressure. More of a Saskatchewan style of defense. Congratulations to the Rough Riders advancing to the Eastern Final.
Richie told us yesterday that they can't give Mike Riley a steady diet of the same looks. So he gives them something different, and they force the first Eskimo punt of the game. Hugh O'Neill. Kevin Fogg is back at the 15-yard line. That's a 45-yard punt. And Fogg is going to bring it back about 5. Alex Hoffman-Ellis, the tackle, 7-3 Eskimos. Few shots fired over the bow in the lead up to this Western Semi. Almondo Sewell letting the Blue Bombers know how he felt, and Andrew Harris with a little tongue-in-cheek reply with more. Here's Sarah Orleski.
Well, Chris, I think Jason Moss wasn't too thrilled to see Almondo Sewell make the comments. Would prefer if maybe he'd stayed a little quieter. But the mutual admiration that exists between Sewell and Andrew Harris was on full display over the last couple of days when both of them took turns speaking about the other. When it comes to Harris, he says that Sewell's the best defensive lineman that he has played against in the CFL. And Sewell said that for his money, there is nobody that is more exciting in football with the ball than Harris. Says he's always making plays, difficult to bring down. So there's a lot of respect, even if they have a little fun in the media.
And those comments were made independently of each other. Not like they were wanting to try and get back on good terms, but sincere praise from both players about each other. And Nichols throwing that one, and it got through the hands of Matthias Gosen, the center, who knew he was ineligible. I think that's why.
Yeah, no, that is why. That's a heads-up play by Gosen, because, you know, he turns around, realizes the ball's on its way to him, and thinks, I can't catch it or else it's a penalty, so I'll knock it down. That was the right thing to do. We'll see what this flag is.
Otherwise, he's lost any chance of being a tight end on certain Bomber formations.
An eligible receiver, Winnipeg number 61. He was the first one to touch the forward pass half the distance. It remains first down.
Ineligible anyway. I thought there may have been Andrew Harris right beside him, but let's take a look. Gosen is the center right in front of Matt Nichols. And there you see Andrew Harris vacate the backfield to the left, and that was just desperation time.
Pressure from Corey Jones, the middle linebacker. Here's Damian Washington with the catch. He is tossed out. Will be short of the first down, but gets some positive yards with 14 back on his first playoff catch, replacing the injured Darvin Adams.
Boy, the Bombers went most of the season without any major injuries, other than maybe Weston Dressler for a couple of games, but they lost Darvin Adams late in the year, gone for the last 3, and that's why Damian Washington is playing wideout.
So 2nd and 6. Nichols gets that to Dressler, first down. Corey Jones the catch, but Weston Dressler has his 2nd of the game, 42nd playoff catch for number 7.
Matt Nichols didn't get a lot of reps during the last couple of weeks as they rested that calf.
They go hurry up and go right back to Dressler. Another grab, and what looks like should be enough for another first down.
But he did get the mental reps, and he looks sharp when he's throwing the football from that pocket. He hasn't moved around much. He hasn't gone on the run or tried to escape. He just stepping into those throws, got to make the quick reads and hope that his O-line can hold up.
Spotted back at the 42, so he gets 9, 2nd and 1. Couture and Flanders in short yardage. It's a big first down and maybe a second here as they pound off the right side. I'm not sure, but they were back inside their 10, and we'll wait and find out. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard. Final play of the opening quarter. Big start for the Eskimos as they drive the field on their opening possession. Bombers answer with a field goal. It's 7-3 after 1 quarter of the West Semi. Well, we won't call it a track meet like the first quarter of the Eastern Semi, but that was a crisp, well-played opening quarter of football.
Yeah, it really was. No major mistakes, and you see the quarterbacks are on. Their completion percentage over 80 combined, and then we did see a little sprinkling of the run game from Andrew Harris for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on that one drive. So, yeah, good start to this football game.
Yeah, it looked like the Bombers going to the run game kind of got their momentum in that opening quarter of play.
Yeah, I think what Paul LaPolice is trying to do is keep them off balance, keep that Edmonton defensive line guessing as to whether or not they'll go to the run game or that quick passing game with Matt Nichols. But controlling Armando Sewell in the middle is key to success for the Bombers.
The guy telling us yesterday that he's finally been able to bench press for the first time since August.
And for him, that's unheard of because he is lifting pretty much every week of the season.
3rd and a yard, Lefebvre in the short yardage situation off the left side, and a big surge for Lefebvre for an easy first down.
Pretty much we'll have to double team him, but you know that Patrick Neufeld, Matthias Gosen, and Suk Chung are trying to rise to the challenge here this afternoon. Double team there on Sewell in the run game. Then they again with the double team. Neufeld with a takedown, and Gosen and Chung playing physical football in the middle on Armando Sewell early.
That's a good step up for Neufeld. Sewell mentioning yesterday he wasn't going to miss 375-pound Travis Bond. And look at Andrew Harris, and that's why he is so respected. Push the pile right into Edmonton territory as he chucks for another first down.
Boy, that gets you fired up. I don't care if you're playing defense or on the teams. You see a teammate fighting for that extra inch like Andrew Harris does on this play. I think a little bit of a face mask there. It looked like he got his face mask pulled around, but that extra effort to push for another 2-3 yards gets everybody going.
3-time 1,000-yard rusher, first time rushing champion in the CFL, and straight ahead down around the 45-yard line. 5 more for Harris.
Armando Sewell said with his eyes he's got to look at Andrew Harris. And if they go to the pass game too often, these guys in the middle of the Edmonton defensive line can get up there and get after him as well. Look at the pressures and sacks combined by interior defensive tackles in rotation. They're not all three on the field at the same time. They'll rotate through. There's only two of them, but they get after quarterbacks have all season.
5 carries, 36 for Harris so far. A pump one way, a go the other for Matt Coates. Got him inside the 10 for Coates, who got him behind Johnny Adams.
Matt Coates has started the last 3 games for Julian Fioli-Cadino. They've targeted him a few times deep, but haven't come up with a catch. This time they get it. Gets him behind coverage, pump fake to the field. Back to the short side.
Go hurry up and a strike into the end zone. Touchdown, LaDavian Washington.
Matt Nichols looks on. Looks sharp. Cap, not a problem with accuracy for number 15.
And an investor group field leap for the Bombers offense. Matt Nichols cradling that, just like he was cradling his newborn daughter this week, Parker.
Timing route, find the hole in the zone, and they find it.
I think Parker just got her first football souvenir. If LaDavian Washington gives it up. Well, that was impressive. 10 plays, 91 yards. And the Bombers have their first lead of this Western Semi. Headlock. That's the convert. 10-7 Bombers. Big 38-yard strike to Matt Coates, and then it's Matt Nichols cradling his baby after a touchdown pass to Washington.
Nice throw down the rail here to Matt Coates, set up that touchdown. Matt Nichols on the money, 9 for his first 10 here this afternoon.
So maybe we will have a track meet. Well, Washington's such a tremendous story. Shout out to his brothers, who he looks after back in St. Louis. Headlock picking it off, and Jamil Smith on the return. Quick duck inside, and he plunges to the 35 as we go back to the sidelines. Here again is Sarah.
Well, Chris, you mentioned the newest addition to the Nichols family. There was concern on Friday over the fact that Nichols was not at practice and then showed up halfway through in street clothes. Well, it turns out that he and his wife, Ellie, added to their family. Parker Winnie Lou, with Winnie being a nod to Winnipeg, is the latest addition to the Nichols family. Also, though, another addition is expected soon to the Bombers family. Chris Randall's wife, Kylie, is due the first week of December. How about this? She resides in Salt Lake City, Utah. She flies up for every home game and is expected to be at this one, too, along with a number of family members. Now, that is a dedicated wife.
And the Randall baby is expected to be named Winston. Is that another nod to Winnipeg?
Night for Mike Riley, because I mentioned in those 2 games in the regular season, Randall with 2 picks, 1 in each game, really were difference maker plays in those games, wins for Winnipeg.
You look up pro in the dictionary and his picture is usually close by. Real solid veterans, top defensive player. Tom Meade, nominee. 10 for Walker, and now C.J. Gable off the right side. And looks like he has about 3.
10 interceptions, Chris, between T.J. Heath and Chris Randall that played together into the boundary. Randall yesterday saying that they will take the base coverages that are called from Richie Hall, and then they'll do their own, play their own games beyond that, trying to disguise to confuse Mike Riley.
Second and 7. Eskimo 49. Watson releases 6 men out, Sills for the catch, and ducks away from the first man, and then steps out of bounds at the 36 of the Bombers. That's a first down and a 26-yard pickup for Brandon Zylstra.
Well, speak of it, Brandon Zylstra working on Chris Randall here. He gets him squared up and gets him to turn, and then he makes his break to the outside and the outcut, and then ball security paramount for Edmonton. They know this Bomber defense likes to take the ball away. You saw Zylstra put 2 arms over it as he went out of bounds.
It was like a mantra yesterday. Every player you talked to, ball security was the primary focus. Riley steps up and got by the rush and takes off for the first time. And he runs for a first down out at the Winnipeg 21.
And led the league in interceptions as a team with 25. In fact, 3 defensive linemen with interception. Turnover ratio for the Bombers, second in the league to Calgary, plus 14. And they call them, we put takeaways up as the title because they're called forced turnovers in the stats, but Richie Hall calls them takeaways, and they practice it during the week.
14-yard run for Riley, a first down for Edmonton. Fake to Gable, the slant for Hazelton, who can't hang on. It'll be 2nd and 10. And they get in the ear of Hazelton after a drop. Hasn't dropped many of late. The last 3 games, 17 catches for Vidal Hazelton. Second down, the Eskimos 5 for 6 in that category so far here today. Riley with time, he'll swing it out. Gable makes the first man miss. Straight arm to the second man and then gets game tackled well short of the first down.
Taylor Loeffler, another one stepping up to help out on that tackle, not allow C.J. Gable to pick it up. I thought Mike Riley might give Gable the ball a little earlier in this play, give him a little bit more time, but you mentioned it off the top. Taylor Loeffler from the safety spot leading the team in tackles, not because they've been tackling him way down the field either. This is Loeffler stepping up into the box, close to the line of scrimmage and making plays.
There's Sean White just back in the lineup late in the year. 15 of 16 on the season from 28 out, and this game is tied. 5.5 minutes into the second quarter. Jason Moss's Eskimos get back on even terms. Rough Riders win the first game of our playoff doubleheader, 31-20. They're headed to BMO Field to meet Ricky Ray and the Argonauts in the Eastern Final next Sunday. While Calgary awaits the winner of this game. And no hints yet because the game is dead even here. Early second quarter. Bombers start at the 35-yard line. Nichols throwing high and through the hands of Flanders and dangerously close to Arjun Colhoun in the Eskimo backfield.
Another formation with both Andrew Harris and Flanders in the backfield together. And Harris, the offense has gone through him all season here in Winnipeg. When you take a look at not only rushing, led the league in rushing at 1,035 yards, but also catches from the tailback spot, 105 for Andrew Harris. He doesn't have one this afternoon yet, but you know they'll go to him.
Bombers 4 for 7. Second down conversions over the middle. Incomplete. That's Kenny Ladler, who was the top defensive player this season in Edmonton, making a play to force the Bomber punt team off.
Yeah, just flat out made plays all year. The Vanderbilt product. Took a year to figure out the Canadian Football League. Stays on a hard inside move there and then plays the football nicely underneath Clarence Denmark. Gets another knockdown.
That shit gonna get stopped.
Second 2 and out of the game for Winnipeg. Medlock to punt. Jamil Smith back. At the 30. Flag comes down on an illegal block, I believe, and Smith tossed forward, dropped the football, and as he rolled down, they're going to rule that Smith was down. We'll check to see if the flag was an illegal block or no yards when we return to Winnipeg in the West semifinal. Well, there has not been a challenge, and kind of intrigued by this one. Jamil Smith, how many steps does he take after the initial contact? And is that ruled down by contact? And the ball popped loose even before the knee.
Well,
we've heard reaction from the fans here, but no reaction from the Bomber bench.
Well, and I think Michael Shea does a challenge, because if he did, they take the no yards penalty in the 15-yarder. And he loses the challenge.
Well, instead, a 31-yard return stands. Here's Riley, bumped over the pocket, hit by Jeffco. The pass sails high, and Mike Riley takes another shot.
That's about the fourth play now in the last couple series for Mike Riley, that the Bombers are starting to get pressure on him, starting to flush him out of the pocket, getting him throwing on the run. In the first couple series of this game, he stood back there and picked his target. Now, a little bit of change up there with Kevin Fogg coming on a blitz, eating up a block. Santos Knox getting back in the backfield.
2nd and 10 at the Winnipeg 49. Four-man rush. Riley steps up over the middle, and it's dropped by Bowman. Couple of drops from Eskimo receivers in this first half.
Del Hazelton and Adarius Bowman were both in the same area when that ball got there, and that area is right in X marks the spot over the middle. There's Hazelton inside, pretty close in their spacing, and Ian Wild made sure he couldn't double clutch it as he broke to that football. Flat out drop by number 4.
Back 3 of the 5 incompletions for Riley. Drops by Calvin McCarty, Adarius Bowman, and Bedell Hazelton. O'Neill's punt. Kevin Fogg from the 10. And good downfield cover there by Johnny Adams. Playoff edition of CFL Fantasy Football presented by AFG is here. Visit CFLFantasy.tsn.ca to pick your team of 6 players and a defense to start competing today. It's presented by AGF. Long field for the Bombers. Starting at their 12, and they start with Flanders on the ground. A cutback by Flanders. He has a couple up to the 14.
Bombers had a bit of a scare on Friday in the work week when Timothy Flanders went down with a knee injury in practice. Just an accidental collision, and got up, was fine the next day and good to go. He's important to come in and give Andrew Harris a rest every now and then.
And in this circumstance, in there with Harris, so double trouble for defenders. Washington to catch up at the 21. It's going to be, well, about a yard short of the first down as Washington came back to the ball. Will O'Shea have any interest in gambling 3rd and 1 that deep in his own zone?
He does. Dan Lefevre's coming on, and a short yardage quarterback.
Looks like a full yard.
Bringing in the big guys.
Christophe Normand, Michael Couture check in.
This is confidence in the big guys up front, especially against this Edmonton D-line.
Last short yardage for Lefevre. He picked up 5 off the left side. And straight ahead, he's got it. That's a good surge behind Gosen, Neufeld, Suk-Chung.
He didn't show it, but you got to know that coach deciding this deep in his own end to go for it on 3rd down with a yard to go is not a guarantee, and be a little bit tense on that sideline.
From what we're seeing from Pat Neufeld today, he is revved up and anxious to make everybody not worry that Travis Bond isn't in the lineup. First down. Little shovel here to Harris. And he spun off Konar up to the 28-yard line with Lefevre staying in. And join us at the half of the GMC Professional Grade Playbook today. Henry Burris on the keys to winning a Western Semi. Big one is not to turn the ball over. Haven't had one yet. Bombers plus 14 during the year. And Washington out of his break had the ball delivered low and incomplete.
Matt Nichols going right to LaDainian Washington to discuss route depth. Ran that route, went about 3 yards too deep by the looks of it because the ball was thrown on time and to the spot Nichols wanted it.
And on the prior catch, he came up a yard short. So some discussions with the rookie. Likely, he does have a touchdown catch of the game. Medlock to punt here. Smith at the Edmonton 35, dropped the ball, but picks it up, but away he goes. Gets a block. There is a flag down away from the play, and another penalty flag. Jamil Smith as the flags should fly here in Winnipeg.
Corey Watson discussing things with the official right at the point of attack where Smith fumbled, then recovered his own fumble.
Eskimos don't have a return touchdown this year, but Jamil Smith looked dangerous last week, and he's had a couple here today, although this one is coming back.
While the ball was in flight, holding, Edmonton number 11. That penalty will be applied for where possession was gained 10 yards back. We also had a illegal block against Edmonton number 21. That penalty is declined. First down, Edmonton.
Well, the Bahar penalty takes it back. The JKR award has been presented since 2010 to the Canadian Player Best. Demonstrates the attributes of Canada's veterans. These are the nominees from across the Canadian Football League, and our congratulations to all.
Those attributes: strength, perseverance, courage, contribution to your community. Congratulations, Matt O'Donnell.
Big guy at right guard, 6'11", 350. Out of Queens is the Eskimo nominee.
Great discussion with Big Matt yesterday in our sit-down interviews, and asked him who was the toughest defensive tackle to block in the league. The first guy he named is his own teammate, Amanto Siwa. He says, I see him every day.
I got to handle that every day. But he did mention some of the best in the business, like Ted Laurent.
Micah Johnson.
Second and 7. It got loud after that 3-yard pickup, but Zylstra working against Chris Randall in a all-star matchup today. Looks like he's got an Edmonton first down.
Came back to the football, 3 hard steps, and got just enough separation on Chris Randall. Zylstra's telling us yesterday that doesn't expect a lot of man-to-man from the Bombers. They may change it up every now and then. They felt they'd face more zone defense than man today.
Already 5 catches, 72 yards for Zylstra on the day. Riley out of the backfield. There's Gable, and he gets tripped up by Randall. Lunges forward close to the first down. So we've hit the 3-minute warning. A good first half here in the Western Semi if this game is tied at 10.
Get 3 minutes to halftime. Rod and the boys back in the studio, minus Jock, who's either eating or working perhaps. He is working on it. We're going to talk about this game. Matt Nichols and some unlikely targets, and hear from James Duthie and Henry Burris on the earlier game. Saskatchewan winning in Ottawa. Back to CC and Suits.
Thank you, Rod. 11 first down for Edmonton, 10 for Winnipeg. The Bombers with 180 net yards, 168 for the Eskimos. Second and inches here, and Riley plows forward, has the first down behind big Justin Sorensen and company.
It's one thing that the Bombers have tried to work on over the back half of the season is just the yards they allow on defense. On pace again for over 300. Last in the league in that category at 321.6. Now, they still win games because they take the ball away, as we mentioned earlier in this football game. They get those turnovers, but they're giving up lots of yards this year.
Over 400 passing yards in 2 of the last 3 games of the year. Riley looked for his check down guy, and then over the middle, a drop by Zylstra, which doesn't happen often, and that's at least 4 drops now for the Eskimos offense here in the first half.
Yeah, you don't see it very often, and you certainly don't see it from Brandon Zylstra this year. I mean, over 1,600 yards and just despises dropping the ball. Talked to him early in the season, and I said, what's your thing, your go-to? He goes, if it's thrown in my area code, I'm coming down with it. I've got to. That's all I care about.
Got a lot of visitors from his area code here. Made the trip from Spicer, Minnesota. Riley hit, got it away. Bowman the catch, and then surges back into first down territory.
Riley had to retreat there, throw off his back foot. Puts it right where he has to as Darius Bowman on the comeback. Watch how he has to retreat here as Mike Riley is getting pressure. Santos Knox right down Main Street, had to retreat, but got the first.
So Bowman moves the chains. Takes the gable, and now a little side arm. It gets to Walker. Right there was Randall, but Walker pulls it down and has a catch into Bomber territory at the 46.
But Chris Randall's getting closer. He has had a couple caught in front of him here, and that happens to the best of them. But this is in the 3-receiver set. Darrell Walker's turn to just sit down in the zone defense. Again, a lot of zone defense from these Bombers. Randall was close.
It's like he took one last back step to protect the guy behind him, and it might have cost him an interception. Second and 3. Eagles will take Riley on a roll, and then through crossbody incomplete for Gable.
Gotta be careful with that one.
Yeah, that's into traffic. And the drive comes to a halt.
I asked Riley yesterday about the balance between continuing to be aggressive and push on offense, but also protect the football because of the reputation of this Bomber defense wanting to take it away. And Riley this time, this is one he probably wants back for in both cases, the throw and the decision to throw. Back across the floor.
Derek Jones was tracking that. They're not going to try a 52-yard field goal. Hugh O'Neill will look for a pin. Fielded by Coates inside the 10 and aggressively with a return back around the 17-yard line. So Matt Nichols, no real signs in this first half of any calf issues.
Good completion percentage, has the touchdown to Washington. And I think what really kick-started their offense was that run series where Andrew Harris got 3 handoffs in a row right up the middle.
64 yards on the ground in this first half, 36 for Harris. And he'll throw on first down here. Got Dressler again. He's been his most reliable target. And he has his 4th catch, targeted 5 times here in the first half.
Career year for Matt Nichols throwing the ball in yardage over 4,400. Surprising he'd be in short yardage and leave him in there. I know they want to do tempo to catch Edmonton off balance, but that means he's got to push off that calf muscle to drive forward and may have to try and start to push the pile. That's risky.
Guess the adrenaline has fully kicked in. By the way, Dressler, they're going to require a measurement here. Dressler did not play in either game of the regular season against Edmonton, but has been good here in the first half. Another short.
Now they'll bring in Dan Lefebvre. It was just a tempo play to try and catch Edmonton not quite ready, and to have Nichols run the quarterback sneak. Bring in Lefebvre to finish it. At this first.
And still plenty of time to break the tie here in this first half. Either chain link or 2. And they'll get that with Lefebvre. some experience and savvy last week in the win over Calgary. The numbers weren't great, but as Paul LaPolice mentioned to us, they had a conservative package and they sat on a lead provided by their defense. Here's a pass for Dressler coming back to the ball, but it was almost by him before he turned against Johnny Adams.
I think both these offensive coordinators with Jason Moss and Paul LaPolice can go in and probably look at the play calls and look at the first half and say, more Andrew Harris. More Andrew Harris, more consistently on each drive, whether it's out of the backfield in the passing game and just those checkdowns or running the ball at the middle. Same can be said, I think, for that Edmonton Eskimos sideline and their offense and CJ Gable.
Right there.
Second and 10. Here comes the rush, and they get home. It was John Chick who finished them off after some early pressure from Euclid Cummings. And the Eskimos with the sack after 4 in the regular season.
John Chick in that sprinter stance, playing right beside Elmondo Sewell. Elmondo Sewell goes inside, and Chick with a great move to knock the hands down of Stanley Bryant and get around the edge and get to Nichols.
Mid-season acquisition who took a long time to win his first game this year. After 0-8 in Hamilton.
Edmonton.
And in the midst of the Edmonton Eskimos 6-game losing streak, but John Chick seems to be getting better as this season goes on here in Edmonton.
Well, he's found a spot in this Edmonton D-line and in the rotation, and of course he's just a work ethic second to none.
Hey, I love you. We want to give thanks to Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior.
That's right. But going in at halftime, Chris, just to echo that point again, you take a look at the run game here and get those defensive linemen to keep spying in the case of John Chick, Andrew Harris, but for the Winnipeg D-line, CJ Gable.
Timeout to stop the clock, so the Eskimos should have some time to break the tie. But Jamil Smith got completely fooled by that. He almost fell down on the play, and now he's going to run backwards. And boy, that was a disaster. Brandon Alexander brings him down, but Jamil Smith would like a redo on that.
Gable with just 5 touches out of the backfield for Edmonton. 5 carries. I think they can slow the pass rush. Riley's been on the run in the second quarter. Carson Wells, the offensive coordinator, will work on that at halftime. Take a look at the play sheet. Work with Jason Moss and Mike Riley. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see more 39 in the second half.
Just over a half minute remaining. They start at the 43. Here comes the heat. Riley's going to duck under it, but can't survive it. Finished off there by Forney, along with Jake Thomas, the 6-year man out of Acadia.
I'm sure the other discussion will be with the receiving core in Edmonton in the locker room saying, hey guys, number 13's putting it between your numbers. You just got to come up with those catches. We counted, what, 4 drops in this first half.
Jackson Jeffcoat just missed the sack. It was a gain of 1. Jeffcoat again on the prowl, and he's got him this time. And the former Texas Longhorn back-to-back against Mike Riley.
Joel Figueroa is in a one-on-one down here on Jackson Jeffcoat. That's back-to-back plays where Jeffcoat goes up the field, power rushes him back onto his heels, and then underneath to Mike Riley.
7 sacks, 23 pressures.
See, right now, Jeffcoat and Opolugo aren't looking at Gable. Getting into straight pass rush moves. Get the eyes on those defensive ends to the running back. That gives Riley a split second.
Eskimos going to run it out.
A split second more, and he's needed it in the second quarter.
Knee from Riley, and the first half comes to an end as the defense has started to dig in after a quick start. We're tied at 10. Eskimos and Bombers West Semi. Let's hit it back to Rod Smith. 30 minutes to decide an opponent for the Calgary Stampeders in the Western Final next Sunday. We're tied at 10. Before the kickoff, let's head back to the sideline. Sarah's with Mike Riley.
Mike, how would you assess the opening 2 quarters?
We came out and played really well early on. You know, threw a couple of punches at them, and then they punched back at us. I mean, we got to clean some stuff up that we did, you know, the end of the first quarter through the second quarter. Just got to execute a little bit better. But this is playoff football. I mean, it's a tight ball game. We got one half to finish this thing off.
Heading into this game, Jason Moss said that this is a battle-tested group. How can that help you in these final 2 quarters?
I mean, we played close games in the second half of football games. You know, I'm sure they have as well. So, to me, you know, they're going to come out and give us everything they got. We're going to do the same to them. We'll see who's better at the end.
Thanks so much.
Both interviews at halftime, both players, Andrew Harris and Mike Riley, saying it probably comes down to the last series here tonight.
Regular season was like that. A 7-point win in August for Winnipeg, and even though it was 9 points in late September, it was a 2-point game in the final minute or late stages, and a pick 6 by Chris Randall that clinched that one. Who plays here today? There's so much talk about ball security coming into this game, and no turnovers through the opening half. Even one mistake in the second half could be decisive.
Now, no question. Who may be the unsung hero? A special teams return. Never know.
Edmonton gets the ball first here in the second half. Headlock to kick. Chris Edwards, Bill Smith are deep. And it will be Smith who has been dynamic and a little adventurous too. Back to the 35-yard line. A tackle by Corney. Let's check the numbers for Mike Riley in the first half.
Well, Mike Riley had pretty good numbers, and they would have been better if not for the 4 drops. He had 7 incompletions in the first half, and 4 of them right in the hands of his targets. And they spread it around, and Darius Bowman, Brandon Zylstra, they both had drops. So did Hazelton and Kelvin McCarty. Got to clean that up, and that's what Riley said on the sideline. Clean up some of those mistakes, and I agree with Dunnigan. More C.J. Gable.
155 passing yards, 14 of 21, and he comes up throwing, and that one knocked down. Intended for Walker, and flying into the picture was Chris Randall.
Now that's not a drop. That's not on the receiver. This is the first time, I think, in this game that Riley's just missed. This ball thrown in behind Darrell Walker gave Chris Randall a shot at it. If not for that little tip by Walker, it's going the other way.
I think Javon Santos Knox got a hand on that as well en route, setting up 2nd and 10. Here comes some pressure from Richie Hall. Riley out of the pocket, in trouble. He takes a huge hit. Flag will come down on a hit by Jeff Coat, who had a shot at Riley. I was going to say clean shot, but as it turned out, it wasn't.
Roughing the passer. Winnipeg number 94. Contact to the head. 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
Bomber fans hate it, but you'll see it. Here comes from the right side of the head of Mike Riley, and Jeff Coates just got to lower his target. He's just got to get his shoulder pads down a little bit lower so that crown of the helmet from Jeff Coates doesn't hit Riley in the ear hole. There's no question that's going to be called today. I mean, that's been called all season long.
The only question, how did Mike Riley get up? There's Gable with a hurdle. And up to the 52-yard line, right over a defender.
Kevin Fogg stepped up. Kevin Fogg playing for the injured Mo Leggett. He's coming off the edge to try and help and run support number 3. And watch Gable up and over Fogg before extra yards. Well, special things happen when you give these backs football, both Andrew Harris and Gable.
So a highlight reel 3-yard gain for C.J. Gable, 2nd and 7. Riley has time, unloads, he's got Darrell Walker, and he can't hang on. Had him in behind T.J. Heath.
But two things. First of all, the ball's a little late because Riley has to step up. The receiver, Darrell Walker, layered all the way across on the post. He does get behind TJ Heath, but Heath doesn't quit on the play. He keeps hustling, keeps working, reads the eyes of Walker, and as soon as he looks and reaches for the football, he shot his right arm in there and knocked it down.
Bill O'Neill the punt. A good one. Kevin Fogg is going to let it go, and it will bounce into the end zone, and it will be a single to break the tie. It's an 11-10 game, but you are giving Fogg a thumbs up for the right decision.
Good decision.
They'll play the field position game here, a 1-point Edmonton lead.
Matt Nichols, accuracy excellent in the first half. He led the league in completion percentage and was on, even though he's got that bad left calf muscle. Stepped into throws, had the deep one to Matt Coates in the first quarter, and a touchdown to Washington. Looked pretty good fighting through the injury of that left leg.
Started 9 for 10, 2 of his last 6 as he gets set for his first possession, second half. His season high was against the Eskimos, the most passing yards Edmonton surrendered in a game this year, 390. Start at the 35 and handed off to Harris. Takes a hit and is leveled after a gain of 3.
It's only 3, but it's good to see that Paul LaPolice going right back to Andrew Harris to start the second half. He had the one series that I think kick-started this offense in the first quarter where he went 3 for 31 of his 36 first-yard rushing total, and it really inspired the entire team. I mean, I saw the bench hopping after a couple of runs where he was breaking tackles.
6.1 yard average in the playoffs. Receiving a big hit on Coates over the middle from Kenny Ladler, and it will be a 2 and out for Winnipeg.
I think the primary there for Matt Nichols was Andrew Harris, but he was well covered. So Nichols had to go back. Coates coming across here, Harris out of the backfield, and watch Kenny Ladler time this up nicely. See the crossing route? That's the second read, and step up into that hit. Fake.
Oh, it's a fake. And it's Flanders, and it's not fooling Corey Watson, who brings down Flanders behind the line of scrimmage. They needed 3. They lose 2. And it's a turnover on downs for Winnipeg, and there is the first takeaway of the game.
And there is Jason Moss. It's going to be direct snap right here to Flanders. And Jason Moss preparing for Michael O'Shea and understanding, hey, he was a great special teams coordinator, great special teams coach. He'll try something. Got him.
So it's Edmonton football when we come back.
Play of the game for Edmonton so far by Corey Watson on this fake attempt, on the fake punt attempt from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He shoots the gap. I'm not sure which bomber in that set was supposed to pick up Corey Watson because he was an interior line player on the punt return team, shot the gap and made the play.
8-year veteran, first 5 years with the Bombers. Makes the play that gives Edmonton a first down at the Winnipeg 40, and here's Darrell Walker wide open, a lot of room. And Taylor Loeffler closed that down with a good open field tackle.
You know, even when C.J. Gable has not been used all that much in the first half, you still got to pay attention for him. That play fake, getting Walker out in the flat, draws the Winnipeg defenders right to 39. There's Walker, a little crisscross action. Oplugo's got to be contained. Everybody freezes looking at Gable, and out goes Darrell Walker.
13 yards and a first down for Walker. His 5th catch of the game. First down, Eskimos. Take the fly sweep, and Riley the other way. Counter by Riley, and positive yards down inside the 20.
C.J. Gable, even if he's not getting the ball, is chipped in whenever he's been asked to in pass protection. And pass pro so important for that tailback to pick up blitzers. It's linebacker coming for the Bombers. Allows Mike Riley to get off for a 13-yard run. Then he steps up, tries to help out, and then picks up blitzer off the edge. Again, Santos Knox.
Riley. Second, less than a yard, and an easy first down plunge behind Sorensen and O'Donnell for a first down.
Just 28 yards, but a tremendous pickup with about 5 weeks left in the regular season for the Edmonton Eskimos. And there's been a couple. C.J. Gable is one. Jamil Smith, you mentioned, and Aaron Grimes on defense. Late pickups late in the season. Boy, this team has gone through so many injuries.
Those three, and then just a bunch of guys getting healthy. They had to use 83 players this year. 54 had starts for Edmonton. But they're getting most of the old game back. Now it's Gable, right side, got a hole, dump back in. Look at C.J. Gable, down to the 2. Is he going to get in? Touchdown! It doesn't get better than that. C.J. Gable with a 15-yard run as he pile drives in.
15-yard run of the year by C.J. Gable. And he shows you a little bit of all that he has in the toolbox. I mean, he's got the speed, the vision. Great vision there to bounce on the jump cut. Look at the move to change direction back into the middle. Then just the sheer toughness and desire to cross the goal line with Bombers hanging all over him. I mean, that is the run of the year.
So points off the turnover on downs. John White adds the convert. And now it's an 8-point lead. The former USC Trojan, the former Hamilton Tiger Cats. How many Bombers got a shot at him? But C.J. Gable couldn't be stopped. CTV 2. I think 9 Bombers had a shot at him.
Trying to count them in the break. Looking at that tremendous run from C.J. Gable. We'll give you one more look at it. It was flat out sweet.
Tim Princeton still can't believe it because he admires it on the iPad. There's a return by Chris Gibbons, and he gets stacked up before he reaches the 30-yard line.
Give you one more look. And you have to slow it down. A couple misses up front, so there's 3 already, 4 there. There's 5, 6 Bombers, 7, 8, 9 try to get there.
So I shortchanged him.
In Chris Randall, 11 from Walker, who gets pushed right out of the pile. Pretty much everyone on defense had a shot.
So it's almost unanimous. Every Bomber had a shot, but couldn't stop C.J. Gable.
Love y'all. 818.
That was something, and again, the Bombers feasted off turnovers this year, led the league with points on turnovers, but the first points off turnovers today go to Edmonton. How does Nichols respond? He goes to the air, and that one sails by Matt Coates. Not sure if Coates was the intended target. Nobody else in the area. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, there's been a steady pace from Michael O'Shea on the sideline after that 3rd down gamble. Punt fake didn't work. Turned into a quick 7 points and score for Edmonton, and he's been second-guessing in his mind there.
Well, the other calling card is how innovative they are on special teams with plays like that. There's a catch.
Great ball.
Big one. He goes back to Coates. Small window, but he hits the former Hamilton Hurricane for a big gain.
25-year-old Matt Coates made a couple of big plays. One in the first quarter,
Offside.
this in the second.
Edmonton,
but the throw from Matt Nichols here, he doesn't have a very big window there. And he gets it in just in front of the safety, Neil King. A 20-yard gain, another big play from Matt Coates.
You heard the offside that was declined. Odell Willis drew the flag, but it is a first down. Winnipeg up at the Bomber 49. And into the Harris. And Harris left side. Got a big opening. Andrew Harris crashing down to the Eskimo 44-yard line. And another first down run. And suddenly the Bombers are in business.
Patrick Neufeld, Stanley Bryant, the nominee Bryant for outstanding O-lineman, gets nice kick-out block on Odell Willis.
Back in the hands of Harris again. He is dropped around the 40-yard line.
guarantee you that Harris was wanting to get out.
Too many men on the field. Edmonton. This is a 10-yard penalty and a first down for Winnipeg.
So the tempo caught Edmonton with too many out there.
See Stanley Bryan on the kick out on Odell Willis, number 41. That allows Andrew Harris to sprint to the edge.
16 on that gain, and on the next play, too many men. Edmonton. So the first down at the 34 with Lefebvre now into the game. Wrestler fakes the fly sweep. Lefebvre keeper. That's not fooling Odell Willis.
Oh yeah. No, he read this one nicely. There are defensive ends. We're seeing a few of them here tonight that can redirect like this. Odell Willis is one of them. To take the inside run or to step up and take quarterback, and he played both. Take the inside run, read it, step up, and cut the quarterback off from getting the edge.
Flanders missed the block. Odell Willis doesn't miss the ball carrier, and he's been working on that. The former mayor here in Winnipeg. Now Flanders draw, big run, Timothy Flanders. And he's going to be a couple of yards short. Well, this will be interesting for Michael O'Shea on 3rd and 2 in field goal range.
It's all about those decisions, and right now Michael Shea's got another tough one in his hands because, boy, nice underneath handoff there to Flanders. He does the rest. They're going tempo, and they're going to go.
No hesitation.
Trying to draw him
offside. They had him offside, but no flag.
No flag.
Weston Dressler can't believe it.
Defense can get back if they're in the neutral zone and jump back.
Unless they crossed the plane, did they? They're going to walk off and now decide, do they take a timeout or they just send the field goal team on? They thought they had.
They did. They had
offside.
They had early movement, but Gosen didn't snap the ball, and it didn't look like Omondo Sewell. I think he was the one who moved, didn't break the plane, and moved back in time.
Time count violation. Winnipeg number 15. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Boy, Dressler was enraged from the start.
Well,
let's take a look and see if he did break the plane.
So was Andrew Harris. There's Sewell in the neutral zone. Now he walks back. There's no ball snap for movement. Now Sewell didn't touch anybody either. So they try it again. It's reload. Didn't work the second time.
So they'll settle for a 38-yard field goal attempt. Medlock puts it through, and it's a 5-point Edmonton lead. The Bombers are incensed that a flag didn't come down. They thought they had Sewell. Look at Harris. Dressler the same. They'll take 3. Moss's Eskimos with the lead with more on the head coach. Here's Sarah.
Well, Chris, we've heard a number of players, and we'll speak about how this is a new season playoffs. Records are 0-0. It doesn't matter what happened before. Jason Moss says, look, what happened through the 18-game regular season, there's no way that you can discount it. It helps form a team's identity. So that their team has been through so many ups and downs, and they learned something from it. He feels it would absolutely help them in this game and potentially if they move on. They've been through the adversity. They are meant for this moment. He says they are battle-tested.
Went through all the injury issues that forced so many other players to become experienced, and it's a far more experienced, deeper team than he had at the start of the year.
Well, suffered through a 6-game losing streak, too, after getting to a 7-game win streak to start the season.
It's been a white-knuckle journey for sure. Mike Riley with time, and he's going to take a shot here for Zylstra. Comes back to the ball, and what a catch. Brandon Zylstra comes up with that.
It looked to me like Mike Riley deliberately underthrew this a little bit to Brandon Zylstra, who ends up double-teamed at the top of the route here. But underthrown it so the DBs kind of fly by. Little double move there. You see both halfback Brian Walker and Brandon Alexander over the top, but slightly underthrown, and I think on purpose. 43-yard gain for Zylstra.
And now over 100 once again, as he did 10 times during the regular season at 6 catches, 115 in the game, and a first down at the Bomber 32. Riley, keeper. And he gets brought down by the middle linebacker, Sam Hurl.
Good conversation with Mike O'Shea about Sam Hurl and how well he's played. And he's been under a little bit of pressure publicly in the media that maybe not making enough plays, but O'Shea explaining to us that a lot of people don't understand what they asked Sam Hurl to do, and that is to take on the blocks of guards so that other players like Kevin Fogg can fly around and make tackles, and he's done it fantastically all year.
Calls it the cowboy back position. Second and long. Riley stands in wide open, nobody around. Brandon Zylstra, touchdown. Well, they forgot about the leading receiver, and Zylstra with 2 big catches on that series for an Eskimo touchdown.
How much time does Mike Riley have to deliver this strike and wait for Brandon Zylstra to open up? A bust in the coverage, voids the zone, great protection for Riley. He can wait till Zylstra, who was as surprised as anybody when he turned around and saw no Bomber defenders.
Leading passer in the league, connecting with the leading receiver. Sean White adds the convert, and it's a 12-point Edmonton lead here. Late in the third quarter, 3 plays, 75 yards. That's all it took for Zylstra to hit Peter.
Colin Kelly and Matt O'Donnell took care of a stunt from the Bomber defense to allow Riley the time to find Zylstra. Watch on this outside. There's a stunt here, and watch how it's picked up by Big Matt O'Donnell, number 66, and Colin Kelly. Switch their men, pick up the stunt, gives Riley time to throw it over the middle. Lock down the right side.
So the second touchdown pass of this game for Mike Riley, who had 30 during the regular season.
Here we go. Watch this stunt pick up again. There's O'Donnell. He's got the first man. Now he's got to wait. Picks up the stunter coming around the other way, and Mike Riley not harassed. O'Donnell and Colin Kelly down there to go and celebrate with Zylstra.
Well, the explosion plays have hurt the Bomber defense this year, and it hurt on that series. Here's Chris Gibbons on the return. Breaks the first tackle out to the 35 for Gibbons, and some more heat now on the Winnipeg offense and their quarterback, Matt Nichols.
I know there's Bomber fans wondering about that offside or the attempt to pull Edmonton offside. And again, the defender, in this case, Armando Sewell, can be in the neutral zone and get back unless Gosen snaps it or he touches someone or crosses the plane. And Sewell didn't do that.
There's Nichols to throw. And a catch made as Coates comes back for the ball. Coates with a good second half.
Let's just show you that one more time, because I know Bomber fans want to see it again. Here's Sewell. He gets called. No question, he's drawn offside there, but he gets back. He doesn't touch anyone, and the ball's not snapped. If Gosen snaps it with Sewell in the neutral zone, it's offside Edmonton, first down Winnipeg.
Because he even took his time backpedaling, and Gosen had some time to react. I think he thought he'd already got the penalty. Short yardage, and Lefevre will foul for, or excuse me, Nichols stayed in that time, and he has a first down. A flag gets dropped here. Bombers have too many men on the field? No, it looks like they've got the right complement. Not an alignment issue? Let's find out. Ben Major dropped the flag.
Yeah. Late flag in the process. And a lengthy conversation here.
And the flag was thrown in the Bomber backfield.
After review with the command center, number 70 Winnipeg was the 6th man on the line of scrimmage, which is legal.
Okay, so they did have the right alignment. No flag. A little confusion here.
Yeah.
Couture comes out of the game.
Just made sure it was a legal formation on that short yardage play, and it was. First down, Bombers.
Landers checks back in. Handed off to Harris. Good yardage straight ahead. So they're getting positive yardage out of Andrew Harris in the second half. Close to another first down. He has 9 on that carry. 65 in the game.
Sorry, Chris. 2-possession game, and you know, lots of time left. So it's still, to me, the key to the Bombers coming back here is number 33, and they've just got to keep him involved in the offense on every series, every set of downs.
105 catches during the regular season, just 1 so far in the game. They're going to work him on the ground again, and a couple off the right side that time.
I mean, Mike Benavides, you can guarantee the defensive coordinator in Edmonton has told his linebackers and Corey Jones, who I mentioned off the top, has not lost as a starting middle linebacker for the Eskimos, Kenny Ladler and Adam Konar, that they're going to try and get it to Andrew Harris. Paul LaPolice sort of wants to sometimes play fake to him. I get all that, but I think 33 is the key.
First down for Washington. He gets bounced down there by Colhoun, but hangs on to the football, and the Bombers back in Edmonton territory, and that's 7 for Washington.
Good timing out here.
Andrew Harris, 2nd and 3. At the 40, just a couple. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Had to get to the 38. And another decision for Michael O'Shea, who's had a few in the second half.
It is, and that was, I think, the first time that the Edmonton defense really flat out stopped Andrew Harris. And how about the timing of it on 2nd and 3 to hold him to basically no gain? I don't think there's any question you got to kick this.
Field goal team comes on.
Lots of time to play, and you've got a kicker that has bounced back from a little bit of a slump a couple weeks back, and one of the best in the game, and has long range.
From 47 out, headlock good, and it's 25-16. From mic'd up players to behind the scenes action, it's CFL Wired.
How you doing, sir? Matt, Tim, nice to meet you.
Hey, come on. It's not that cold. Teddy is too good to play duck, duck, goose with his defensive lineman.
Been a good run. Oh, man. Been a good run.
Was a good run for Marco Iannuzzi. Matthew Schultz very polite, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's nice to introduce yourself to the official before the game begins.
CFL Wired Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN 5.
Well, they've been living off turnovers. Can the Bombers get one here?
Edmonton at the 35, hands it off to Gable. Corey Johnson grabbing on, and Sam Hurl finishes it off. 5-yard pickup for Gable. CJ now 8 for 39 in that remarkable 15-yard touchdown run earlier in this third quarter. Final play third quarter, and the Bombers look for a stop. Here comes the rush. Riley gets it away. Gable's got it. First down. Ball came loose at the end of it, and a mad scramble with the ball out.
I think Brandon Zylstra came up with it. Mike Riley took a hit and is
still battling for the football down there. It is, well, Zylstra comes up signaling. It's Edmonton ball. Jeffcoat's got it.
No signal from the official yet as to who has it.
I think they're saying it's Edmonton football, and that's why Santos Knox is in a lather.
Boy, Opalaugo had a great crack at the fumble recovery and missed it.
Ben Meacher was down at the bottom of the pile, and I guess
Ruling on the field was Edmonton recovered the football, and he was down with contact. We'll measure.
Zylstra had his hands on it, and if they're saying that he had possession and down by contact, then you can't rip it out of his hands at the bottom of the pile. Let's take a look at the hit first on Mike Riley and how he got this to Gable. I'm not sure. It looked like Opalaugo had him down there. No penalty flag for a late hit. That was just Riley getting ragdolled a little bit, and then the fumble here definitely out before
Sorensen shot
down.
Zylstra, and
now does he have control there and is down by contact?
Boy, I'm not sure. Be almost be a difficult play to challenge. And it is a first down for Edmonton. End of the quarter. Michael O'Shea can chew on that. 25-16 Edmonton. Tied at the half, but a 9-point lead headed to the fourth quarter now for the Eskimos.
Game's still in the balance, no question, and I'm going to be 100% behind and back the decision by Michael O'Shea to go ahead and try a fake punt. That has worked so many times for this Bomber team and for O'Shea coach teams. It didn't this time, but it really changed the momentum. Edmonton with over 120 yards in the third quarter after they stopped the fake on the punt.
Gable and Zylstra touchdowns. I think Mike O'Shea was tempted to challenge that last ruling, but it's one of those challenges that's almost impossible to overturn because you're not sure what the heck's going on at the bottom of the pile.
Exactly, and I don't think he would have won it even if he tried to overturn it. The ruling on the field was recovered by Zylstra down by contact. I don't think you can challenge that and win it.
So it is a first down, Edmonton at the 45. Riley will hit Gable out of the backfield, and he's wide open and down into the Bombers' side of the field and pushed out at the Winnipeg 45.
All of a sudden, though, this is a couple of times now. That last series for Edmonton when Zylstra was wide open for the touchdown throw, the Darrell Walker play where he was wide open. Now it's C.J. Gable's turn, wide open in the flat. These are busts in the coverage for the Bombers. They're starting to unravel a little bit. Got to get that focus back because the game is still winnable. They can still come back here.
Gable now at 76 yards from scrimmage in the game. 20 on that last play and a first down. So right back into his hands, straight ahead, and hanging on to the shoe, but was Jeffcoat. Gable nearly got away and has 2-3 pending the spot.
You can start to think that see Brandon Alexander there getting involved, trying to rip the ball out, pull it out of C.J. Gable's hands. The Bombers call that the lawnmower move, where they're just trying to pull the lawnmower starting cord, and they practice it every day in practice. They're going to have to try and create a takeaway here.
Yeah, they need to cut the Eskimos grass here in the fourth quarter. Second and 7. Pressure coming. Riley gets it away. Darius Bowman by himself. Touchdown. Another bust and another Bowman touchdown.
Wide open behind coverage this time. The 3 busts previous to this one for the Bombers in the back end and the secondary were in the short zones, the flats out to the outside sideline. Not this time. This is over the top. Busted coverage. One of the Bomber defenders did not get deep and take a Darius Bowman on the corner route.
42 yards. Riley to Bowman, his second touchdown catch of the game. And the team that gave up the most big plays on defense this year, giving them up in the second half. (32-16) Edmonton in control with just under 13 and a half minutes left. Mike Riley over 300 on the night. 308 yards and 3 touchdowns, twice to a Darius Bowman as the Eskimos take control. The CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition. Get noticed like a pro.
Looked to me, Chris, like the Bombers were playing a cover 3, which is 3 deep zone defense against the Darius Bowman.
One nation. Stay with us. One empire. Hey, I want to say hello to my beautiful wife.
Bowman's had a couple of times to say hello tonight. Chris Gibbons runs up on that short kickoff and then gets cut down by Aaron Grimes.
I'll show you the cover 3, Chris. Here is where Darius Bowman lines up. Let's take a look as they break the huddle and they go and they drop into their cover 3. 3 deep. Now the deep defenders can't let anyone deep behind them. There's 1, there's 2. Where's the 3rd over here on the outside? He's got to get deep. It's Brian Walker by the looks of it. The corner, Walker number 22, bites on Darrell Walker, leaves his deep zone, and a Darius Bowman in behind him.
Though 2 touchdowns and a pair of 2-point converts behind. Dressler, nice snag over the middle. And they're into Edmonton territory. Ball came loose. They're ruling the play was down. No, they're ruling it's Edmonton football.
Saying it was a fumble.
It will have to be reviewed. And do the Eskimos have their second takeaway?
Did the Eskimos steal one from the Bombers' book on the lawnmower move to pull the ball out?
Is he down? And then the ball comes out. Maybe a better angle here. In the fight,
Previous play is under review by the command center.
Well, it was a great catch, first of all, but it's whether his backside or his calf was down before that ball got ripped out of there.
And in the battle, I'm not sure he did touch the ground. Neil King holding him up, pulling it out.
The calf never got there, so it had to be the backside of Weston Dressler, and I'm not sure that touched before the ball came out. Let's take a look.
No.
Safety Neil King ripping at it.
Well, let's take one more look.
This is so close.
It's almost simultaneous now, isn't it?
It really is.
Which would play at least into the hands of the Bombers if it's seen that way.
Now the ruling on the field is
a fumble
turnover.
And Edmonton takeaway. Yes,
turnover.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a fumble recovered by Edmonton. First down, Edmonton.
So it's the second turnover of the game. The second this half.
Let's go. Let's go.
Neil King, one of those starters who has missed a lot of time this year. 8 games with an injury. Makes a big play here.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are 12-2 when they win the turnover battle. 0-4 when they don't.
Long chat from Mike O'Shea with referee Andre Prue, but not much point in challenging something that's already been ruled on by the command center. But he's going to challenge it nonetheless. That's how important this play is. And will he be
Winnipeg
looking
is challenging the previous play. They believe the ball carrier forward progress was stopped. The play will be reviewed.
So he's given them something different to look at. Desperate move, but it might be successful. Well, this play undergoing its second review. The first, the mandatory turnover review, and now a challenge from Michael O'Shea on a different element of the same play.
Desperation time for O'Shea. He's giving it a shot. Let's see.
The ruling on the field was confirmed. Winnipeg is keeping their challenge.
Well, apparently the challenge.
Hey, here is Glenn Johnson, just came into our booth, the head of officiating, to help explain this. Michael O'Shea is going to get his challenge back because they already ruled when they replayed it the first time on forward progress. So they're giving him his challenge back.
There's Gable, big hole right side, kicks it outside, and a tackle by Randall at the Bomber 50-yard line. And that's close to 9 for C.J. Gable.
Now the Edmonton Eskimos are in that grind down the clock mode. And that means a lot more of 39 getting the football, especially on 1st and 10.
This will require measurement as the chains come out. Gable at 53 on the ground now. And 4 catches for 37. And another Edmonton first down. So the 24th first down, and Gable's been a huge presence here in the second half. Right back to Gable, huge hole, open field, Taylor Loeffler can't bring him down, and catching him from behind is Opalaugo. But another huge run for C.J. Gable, this one for 33.
Point of attack blocked up beautifully off the left side. Figueroa, the left tackle, go ahead and run it, guys. Watch Gable hit the hole. Figueroa with the kick out. Get back and show you that C.J. Gable run. That was the touchdown earlier, but look at this. Nice kick out block by Joel Figueroa, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat, C.J. Gable. A big run.
Got an injured Bomber, and it's Brandon Alexander well away from the play, getting help to the sidelines. Well, it wasn't as big of a highlight as the 15-yard touchdown run, but that's his biggest run of the night, or longest, at 33. And the Eskimos 2 for 2 in the red zone in the game.
Carson Walsh went to C.J. Gable in the second half.
Gable again makes the first man miss. He's going to walk in, touchdown. Gable, another major score in the second half as he goes over 100 rushing, and the Eskimos pulling away.
Well, he gets a nice block from Brandon Zylstra. And he gets a little bit of a convoy with Mike Riley going in there with him. Watch Zylstra come down and left of your screen, 83. He takes Brian Walker, ties him up, cut inside of there, and now Mike Riley wanting to find a block for his tailback.
So another touchdown off a second Winnipeg turnover. And the Bombers, who have lived by it all year, are dying by it here in this game. Convert from White is good. And it's 39-16 after being tied at 10 at the half. It has been all Eskimos here in the second half of the Western Semi. The CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by BDC, the only bank exclusively devoted to entrepreneurs. Investors Group Field has been silenced here in the second half. C.J. Gable's had a lot to do with that. 12 carries, 100 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. Brandon Zylstra has 7 catches for 145. Flanders kicks it out of bounds, and it'll be a deep start for Winnipeg back at their 18.
Mike Riley saw the patience of C.J. Gable on that last touchdown run and watch number 13 want to get involved and go down the field and try and block somebody. There goes Riley. He's trying to get a block somewhere, and if not, well, then I'll just be the first to celebrate with my tailback.
Brooklyn, Emily, I love you guys. I can't wait to talk to you tonight. I know you're watching.
Well, Matt Nichols got a lot of work to do. Crosser here for Flanders, and looks like the Eskimos are getting the lawnmower out, trying to hold up players and strip the ball loose. Kenny Ladler on the scene that time.
We had a good conversation with Jason Moss yesterday about that turnover battle and ball security. And Moss, interesting what he said.
Nichols throwing to Harris, and that ball popped loose, but back into his hands, and he's still going up the sidelines. He finally stepped out. Dragged down there by Neil King. We'll see where they mark him out. Looks like around the 39. It is a first down for Winnipeg.
Edmonton almost creating another turnover here, but they don't. It bounces back up. Good bounce for Andrew Harris. He does have possession, so it would be ruled a fumble. And
Konar with the strip that time.
And stepped out of bounds.
Andrew Harris is going to play the full 60 minutes. Nichols throwing, and it's caught by Washington. Did that deflect into the hands of Washington?
Well, it was almost nonchalant, and one of those defensive backs cut underneath this and looked like they were casually trying to intercept this throw on the dig route.
Just off the fingertips, and look out, Odell Willis with a sack. Matt Nichols looking for a head shot there as he's dropped back at the Edmonton 54.
See Odell Willis right here. Coming off the edge. Nice spin move. Nichols wants a helmet-to-helmet hit. And Michael O'Shea is going to challenge. He got a chance to see it in replay, or got the word from above, and he still had his challenge because he got it back on the last one.
Winnipeg has challenged the previous play for roughing the passer. The play will be reviewed.
You saw Matt Nichols get up from that hit, Chris, and he pointed right to his helmet immediately. I think there was contact from Odell Willis. Now, is that the ducking into it?
This has been talked about a lot.
Because that's clearly helmet hit, though. Now it's the side of Odell Willis's helmet, not the crown.
But part of the discussion has been when the player is ducking into the hit, what can Odell Willis do about that?
Exactly. Therein lies the gray area on this. There isn't a gray area if the quarterback's standing tall and gets hit in the helmet. That's even if Odell Willis turned sideways here and Nichols hadn't ducked, that is a penalty flag for sure. It's been called the other way tonight. On this one.
So either a 7-yard loss or a 15-yard penalty.
It didn't look like Nichols moved all that much.
After review, roughing the passer, major foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton number 41. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the 47-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, the call goes the Bombers' way on the challenge. That's the last challenge for Michael O'Shea. It's a successful one that gets Winnipeg a first down at the Edmonton 32. Low penalty game by both teams so far. Nichols in the flat for Washington. Catch is made, and he is dropped at the 26. And a gain of 6.
Get right on the line of scrimmage. The clock the enemy for Winnipeg now, as much as the Eskimos have been.
Second and 4. Short drop over the middle for Dressler. There's Aaron Grimes with the knockdown.
Just closing speed, as good as there is in the league. I mean, it looks like he is shot out of a cannon when he breaks on the ball. And I mentioned Jason Moss telling us yesterday that forget about position or side of the football, special teams, that one of the best football players I've ever been around is Aaron Grimes. He does it all. Great speed, he'll hit, tackles, catch.
Third and 4, they have to stay on the field over the middle, and a good sure-handed catch by Flanders.
Grimes right there.
Grimes.
Yeah.
But it is enough for the first down.
Yeah, Grimes right there. He makes the hit, but tough catch, and Flanders makes it.
And now a shot to the end zone, and incomplete. Nearly a circus catch there by Denmark, broken up by Forrest Hightower.
Had a shot at it. Hightower keeps fighting, and he's got his hands in between the arms of Denmark and is able to rip it out of there. I don't think there was control long enough for Denmark.
Third red zone appearance, 1 for 2 in the game. Second and 10. Nichols from the pocket, Dressler, touchdown. Bombers get one back.
Dressler understands the situation though. No messing around, touchdown, give it back to the official, get back into the huddle and get going. The slogan for the league for years has been, no lead is safe. It's a big hill they've got to climb.
6th playoff touchdown for Weston Dressler. They'll go for 2. Trying to make it a 15-point game. And a little swing here to Coates. He gets there. And it's now 39-24, and we've still got a half quarter to play. The Bombers needed that. They get a successful challenge. A third down gamble that works, and then Weston Dressler gets into the end zone.
Damian Thomason is in it after the fact, and he's got his teammate Andrew Harris getting him out of there. They don't get a penalty. But you're right, Chris, lots of time left at 7:48. I was about to say, I thought Matt Nichols should have given it to Andrew Harris out of the backfield. He looked like he had a one-on-one with a lot of space, but he holds on to it the extra second, finds Dressler over the middle. 2-point convert to Matt Coates, his third big play of this game for the Bombers, and it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, Matt Coates has 6 catches and 101 yards, his biggest game in the Canadian Football League. Well, you're midway through the 4th quarter. Do you short kick here?
No.
Not yet?
I don't think so. I mean, both teams will prepare for it. Certainly Edmonton will have their hands team out there. Their hands team meaning they're ready for a short kick. The big guys up front are to take out the first row, and then they got the hands guy and Darius Bowman behind to catch it. O'Donnell's one of the guys up front to try and block someone from getting there.
Plus he's 6'11".
There's about 600 pounds or more.
Got his bodyguard Armando Sewell beside him.
Right there. That's about 600 pounds.
Gonna kick it deep.
Plus.
Jamil Smith back from his 13-yard line. And Derek Jones looked like he got enough to trip him up. Just across the 25. Bombers need defense. Mike Riley will just try and run some of the clock here, and a late flag does come down.
What was the late flag? Because this is an important part of the game here.
And a team that has stressed discipline all
After
year
the
long.
play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg number 52, 15-yard penalty, first down Edmonton.
Let's take a look. Miles,
let's take a look.
The least penalized team during the regular season. Is this a penalty?
Well, he crawls over him at the end of it. Miles didn't need to do it. And I would say it didn't need to be called either.
Costly chunk of real estate, 15 more, and a field position start beyond the 40. C.J. Gable, and closing down on that. Look at them trying to rip it out.
Big down here. Big down coming up right now. What does Richie Hall have? When he's dropped into the zone in this second half, he's had some problems in the secondary. Drop coverages. It's not been a blitz cover zero team where he's left his back end in man-to-man with no safety help. Loeffler's back there. What does he dial up here? Because this is a major down right now.
Eskimos 68% in second down conversions. 2nd and 9. Riley throwing for Walker. And he can't make the one-handed catch. Randall in tight coverage.
They went with blitz, Chris. They brought the linebackers in. Santos, Knox, and Hurl, and left their secondary in zero coverage, one-on-one, and Randall's got the assignment of Darrell Walker, gets the knockdown, and they get the 2-and-out they needed.
First 2-and-out of the game, the fewest 2-and-outs on the season by Edmonton.
Winnipeg.
Bombers calling timeout already. Again, there is a lot of time left. And Michael O'Shea's going to use every
Edmonton
second
is challenging
possible.
the previous play for illegal contact on number 87, Edmonton. The play will be reviewed.
Yeah, we saw a little hand fight there. Did you see enough for this challenge?
I didn't, but I think it's a good challenge by Jason Moss. I mean, we're deep into this game, fourth quarter. Once you get to the 3 minutes, you can't use it. I mean, he's got to try this. Little push by Darrell Walker, little arm bar there in some ways by Randall. I think you let him play there. I don't think this is going to be overturned, but that's the signal from Walker. Good challenge by Jason Moss. Give it a try. You don't know. I mean, we'll see what they rule, but I think you got to let him play in that case. That's my opinion.
A good question from producer John Hines. The timeout was called to the Bombers not necessarily need the timeout now.
That's true. Basically got one when Jason Moss challenged this play.
Back on an incompletion, why would you use the timeout?
Without burning it, yeah. I think Michael Shea is thinking about that right now. You see him shaking his head a little bit.
Jason Moss thought he had one last week.
I think by that expression, I'm not sure he's expecting to win this challenge, but I think it was a good one to make. This is deep into the fourth. You don't want to leave this game with that challenge flag in your pocket. Give it a shot.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It was an incomplete pass. Edmonton discharged their first timeout. Also, prior to the challenge, Winnipeg has called timeout. Edmonton that was the last time out by Edmonton.
He was saying last time out for Winnipeg, I believe. And outside the 3-minute warning, the clock would have kept running, so he stopped the clock, which is what he wanted. And there still is time for the Bombers. An important series coming up. Kevin Fogg will try and enhance it with a good return. That's a 47-yard punt. But Fogg does provide the return. Around the 50-yard line, they're going to spot him out at the 51. So good field position for the Bombers. 31-yard return by Fogg. And a critical series coming up for Matt Nichols. Pressure on underneath. Harris grabbed the low offering, and what a play by Andrew Harris. Didn't look like he was going to get much if he even caught it. Makes a tough grab and gets a first down.
Yeah, gets the extra yards running on his own, and now
what a measurement. Looks like he had enough, but
But this measurement gives Matt Nichols time to call it in the huddle. Possibly even prepare the offense for 2 plays in a row. In other words, say, here's what we're going to do. If it's short yardage, here's what we're going to do. If we've got the first down, and on second, get to the line of scrimmage quickly.
Being short might give them a free play here, and it is enough for a first down. I think he would have taken second in the chain link.
Meanwhile, Mike Benavides, defensive coordinator for the Edmonton Eskimos, has got to get those guys back and dialed in. Playing a little soft now all of a sudden at half in this last 10 minutes.
Screen it to Harris, has to make Corey Jones miss, and does. And then runs through Kenny Ladler, close to another first down. 33 is still revved up.
The other thing with hurry up like this for Nichols is it keeps Edmonton in vanilla coverage.
4th catch for Harris, who only had 1 at the half. They're going to measure again here.
Well, you know, this is the decision, Chris, of the official, not of Jason Moss or O'Shea. Mike O'Shea wanted this tempo to keep going.
Yep.
And was angry that they wanted to take another look and measure this. But they have to if it's inside a yard, and it's a determination of the official, the head official, to go ahead and take a look and see if he's got it.
They wanted tempo. They wanted to keep rolling. They get the first down. But now the Eskimos defense a chance to regroup. And the chain guys are in knots.
Get that all untangled. Here we go.
And the first downs, it's been tight. The difference, those 2 turnovers and 14 Eskimo points. Nichols wants Washington, who was all tied up with Johnny Adams, and the flag does come out.
I watched that matchup live between Johnny Adams and Washington. I'm not sure what Adams is arguing about. In fact, he wants a challenge. He rolled Washington all the way down. Press coverage, gets up in there, gets his hands on him, well past the 5, still pushing him out of bounds, holding the
illegal
jersey.
Contact and receiver. Edmonton number 20, 10-yard penalty. That will result in a first down.
He's fired up.
Yeah, clearly illegal conduct that could have turned into PI because the ball was thrown to Washington.
Flag came out a little late, but the right call. It's 1st and 10. Nichols wants Dressler jumping. Aaron Grimes was eyeing his first Edmonton interception.
Nichols needed to get that one in the hole. He had Dressler right down the rail, and he needed to get it to him in between the deep coverage and the underneath coverage. Waited a split second too long, and that brought Grimes into the play.
The one thing Dressler's probably not going to win is those jump balls at 5-7. Looking for their 10th second down conversion. Nichols going through the reads underneath. It's Washington. They'll be well short, and now they'll have to go on 3rd down, you would think. Or do they take 3 points? Offense stays out, and
yeah, it would still make it a it would still make it a 2-possession game. You go for it here.
And they go for it on 3rd and 6. Quick hitter, ball is caught. But no, they say Gibbons didn't catch it. And they turned it over on downs. And Gibbons arguing, because it's a turnover, does that have to survive the review? Let's have a look if he did make the catch.
Yeah, turnovers are reviewed, and this would be a turnover on downs. He's the wide receiver, number 81. He runs that curl. I think he did catch that football, was down by contact, knees on the ground. I didn't see it come
turns away.
out.
This might be a better angle so we could see if he completes the play. No,
he doesn't. It did come out. It slipped through. The right call by the official. Because even if his knee touches there, he's got to maintain the possession.
Right call.
While he's going down to the ground.
So that's the 3rd turnover of the game. C.J. Gable up over the 30 for 4 yards.
Get noticed like a pro in the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition.
No, 2nd and 6, under 4 minutes left now. Edmonton by 15. But not home and cooled out yet. Fake to Gable, and it's McCarty with it. Cut back, and he gets tripped up, but should have the first down. Tackle on the play by T.J. Heath.
Timeout, Winnipeg.
The Bombers stop the clock.
Timer, please reset the clock to read 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Mike O'Shea wanted time out there. There seemed to be a discussion on the sidelines about that.
Seeing it quite often, called just before the 3-minute warning.
Having a discussion with the line judge, Rob Hill. I think we'd like to hear that discussion. Fired up. First and 10 back in the hands of Gable, tripped up across the 40-yard line. We tick down to the 3-minute warning. Some great football yesterday. The Laval Rouge et Or over Montreal. How about Nico DeFonte of the Calgary Dinos with a 59-yard field goal to win? Wow. St. Paul Crusaders, the city champs in Winnipeg, and our congratulations to the Saskatoon Hilltops for the 4th consecutive year. Canadian Bowl champions over Windsor. And oh yeah, Western beat Laurier. The guy from Queens doesn't usually like reporting on that. 2nd down, Riley guns it in for Zylstra, who's been the favorite target tonight. 8th catch for Brandon Zylstra. Another Edmonton first down at the 3-minute warning, with the Edmonton Eskimos trying to confirm their reservation for Calgary. The CFL playoffs on TSN are brought to you by Shaw, proud to present the 105th Grey Cup. Road team won the Eastern Semi today. The road team was 39-41-1 during the regular season. Jason Moss trying to engineer another road team victory here in the Western Semi.
Little work to do yet, but you could tell when they broke the huddle, the Eskimos could feel it.
5 offensive touchdowns on the day. 3 passing by Riley, 2 rushing by this man, C.J. Gable. And Jackson Jeffcoat will drag him down in behind the line of scrimmage.
Timer, please.
Great move by General Manager Brock Sunderland to bring C.J. Gable in, make that deal. Go back and get Aaron Grimes back for his tryout in the National Football League. Added Jamil Smith to the return game, but the key has been C.J. Gable. Big part of this one tonight, especially in the second half.
Nobody was busier this year on the management side with the need for 83 different players and a few more in just in case. But 83 different Eskimos had to suit up the season. Second and long. Here comes Heath. Riley to Walker. Quick close there to bring him down by Brian Walker, short of the first down, and the Eskimos will have to punt the football away. And somebody shaken up on the way to the sidelines for Edmonton. That's Alexandre Dupuis, the fullback, just back in the lineup after suffering an injury about 3 weeks ago.
But seen a lot of playing time here tonight. He's played a little tight end, blocking for C.J. Gable, and
he gets attention. A reminder that next week the final doubleheader. The Rough Riders, with that win today in Ottawa, will meet Ricky Ray and the Toronto Argonauts at BMO. Our coverage beginning at noon, and the decision desk declaring it will be Edmonton and Calgary in the Western Final.
Battle of Alberta to go to the Cup. Everyone down there, including C.J. Gable, saying, hey, it's not done yet. TSN made the decision from the truck, but there's a minute 48. We got to finish here. Fogg has a punt return touchdown this season.
Good veteran move by you to blame the truck for that. O'Neill to Fogg from the 7. Kevin Fogg out beyond the 15-yard line. Long field and a long way to go for the Bombers, with a minute 24 remaining.
Wow, Matt Nichols has coming off a career year and has really gutted it out tonight. I mentioned off the top with that calf injury, it was a type of injury that, you know, possibly you could numb the pain and do what you have to do that, but if you do, you can't play again next week. And he had to get it out through the pain, and it's played well. Not well enough, and can't escape.
Under siege here, got away, gets it downfield, and look out, almost intercepted at the end of that. Clarence Denmark, the intended target, was in full flight.
Friday, a new addition to his family, as Sarah reported on early. Congratulations to Matt Nichols on his new daughter, and a tremendous season.
And again, two receivers in the same spot there. Dressler and Denmark ended up right in the same vicinity. Now, watching him in the warm-up, you weren't convinced he'd be able to play 60 minutes today. Pressure here, ducks away, gets it out to Denmark, pulled down short of the first down. Corey Jones the tackle, and it's going to be 3rd and 3.
Another great year for Andrew Harris, leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. 5 of the last 6 years, the leading rusher has been a Canadian. Andrew Harris over 1,000 yards and over 800 receivers.
Just got a first down, pulled down by Aaron Grimes, but a good burst off the right side for Harris on that carry. His 11th of the game.
Boy, it's ideal for have a star like Andrew Harris, who grew up here in Winnipeg. Does so many great things in the community as well.
Like Elmondo Sewell is going to require some attention. Been playing with sore ribs most of the year. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Games that the Edmonton Eskimos win and Riley throws for over 300. He's always considered, and he is honorable mention, Mike Riley. But tonight, because of a lot of what you didn't see and most of what you did, which was hard running from C.J. Gable, but what you didn't see was great protection, blitz pickup, which he's got a tremendous reputation for. But in the second half, won the line of scrimmage up front, and C.J. Gable was such a big part. He's our player of the game tonight.
107 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 4 catches, 37 yards. Nichols over the middle, and there's Dressler with the catch, and a couple of extra yards as he spins forward. That costly fumble by Dressler that was held up under review was one of the plays that kind of tipped the scales here this afternoon.
Well, and I think Bomber fans will go back to the 3rd down fake punt attempt.
Nichols throws to the sideline, a catch made by Coates. Matt Nichols over 300 yards passing on the day. That his 40th attempt. And his 29th completion. Harris 120 yards from scrimmage. But no answers for Riley in the Eskimo offense. Here's Flanders as a first down. Getting Ladler another tackle.
Sets up a couple of outstanding finals next Sunday. Ricky Ray against Kevin Glenn, who had a great game earlier this afternoon in the win for Saskatchewan. And Mike Riley against Bo Levi Mitchell.
That has a ring to it.
Oh, man.
Matt Nichols, deep shot. Clarence Denmark knocked down. Aaron Grimes makes the play. Or is that Forrest Hightower? Excuse me. Hightower makes the defensive play in that spot for the injured Brandon Thompson. So 2nd and 10 with 21 seconds remaining in the Bomber season. Flanders can't hang on. Ladler in the area. First 12-win Bomber season in 15 years.
And first playoff game here. And we'll look back and think about a couple of decisions. But I thought the fake is something that Mike O'Shea has done in his past, and it's worked very well. If it works, he's the hero. I think it was part of his DNA, and it didn't work that time. Backfired. Give credit where credit's due, and that's to Edmonton for being prepared.
Got a first down. Colquhoun with the tackle.
But Edmonton got on a roll after that, and offensively, with Gable as the focal point, they just started rolling after that turnover on downs.
That shot tells you who the key men were on the day. Damian Washington to the middle of the field with one play remaining. And the road teams prevail here on semifinal Sunday. The last gasp. Nichols to the end zone. Dressler touchdown on the final play to make the score look a little tighter. A pair of touchdowns for Weston Dressler.
Sure, if they will make them go for the
convert.
Extra the convert.
One more play to go, guys.
They just have to make it official. He doesn't change anything, but it protocol. And
now, does the protocol demand the 2-point attempt, or can we kick one? Looks like the guys are going to stay out for 2. Somebody in Las Vegas might care about this final play. Good point. It is 2 for Dressler. It will go down in the books as a 7-point win for the Edmonton Eskimos. It's going to be a Battle of Alberta in the Western Final next Sunday as Mike Riley leads his Eskimos to McMahon.
Great season for Mike O'Shea and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It'll end tonight, but outstanding 12-win season.
So the Rough Riders prevail in Ottawa. It's the Eskimos over the hometown Blue Bombers in the Western semifinal. So it's the Rough Riders and the Argos. It's the Eskimos and the Stampeders So long from Winnipeg, where Edmonton has advanced.